Hey guys, Rhino here. I was being asked a couple times about sponsoring the podcasts that I do, as well as the dual podcasts that I'm going to be start doing whenever I can. I'm not sure when I can. But basically, they want to know what it is, how much it costs, and what they can get from it. So let's start off. What is sponsoring a podcast? What does that mean? Well, basically, you'll pay a fee, either a one-time fee or a multiple, numerous fee, depending upon how many you go for, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And what you'll get is at the beginning of the podcast that you sponsor, I'll introduce and I'll be like, hey guys, Rhino here, and blah, I'm with so-and-so. This podcast is sponsored by, and then I'll state the name of whoever sponsored it or whatever sponsored it. I'd suggest using a company or a brand name, but if you want to advertise your YouTube or your videos, that works too. And I'll say, okay, this is the sponsor of this current episode, and then I'll dedicate probably a minute, 30 seconds to a minute to say whatever you want me to say about your product or your company or your YouTube channel, as well as I'll state your YouTube, Twitter, and website links if you wish. To get you more traffic, all in that time span. And then, of course, your links will be in the description as well to the video. And so I will dedicate 30 seconds to a minute, sometimes more, depending upon the product. And I'll just basically, whatever you write, I will say. And so it's a great way to advertise your product. If you want, if you have, like, let's say, for example, there's a company that starts making custom Xbox One controllers and PS4 controllers, so next-gen console controllers. And they're low price, they're really high quality, and they want to advertise. And their name is Amazing Customs. And so basically what I would say is this podcast is sponsored by Amazing Customs. They create some of the best quality custom controllers for incredibly low prices. Their YouTube channel is youtube.com/amazingcustoms. Their Twitter is twitter.com/amazingcustoms, and their website is amazingcustoms.com. Be sure to check them out. And if they happen to give me like a discount code, I'll say the discount code in the podcast itself so that you can get a discount. That's just an example. Amazing Customs isn't a real thing. It might be. I don't know. I just made that up off the top of my head. But that's how it'll basically run, and it'll go longer if you give me more to say, shorter if you give me less to say, and it'll all be based on what you want. Now, pricing. Right now, to sponsor an episode, all it costs is $5. You pay $5, you sponsor an episode. That's it. You can also sponsor multiple episodes. If you say, hey, okay, I'll pay $20, okay, then you just reserve the next 4 spots no matter what. Then there's also the possibility of someone saying, okay, well, I want to sponsor one for $6. So that way someone else can't bump them out of their spot or can't overtake them or anything like that. Then the price would go up to $6, and that person would always get precedent as long as they pay $6. If they don't want to sponsor an episode, then it would go back down to $5. So the price is at $5, but it's very likely to grow. I've had a lot of people seem interested in sponsoring podcasts, and so this could be a great way to advertise yourself. And so if people are taking advantage of that, the price might go up a little bit. I don't expect the price to go to like $100. That would be unbelievable, and quite frankly, I wouldn't even want to do that. But it may rise a little bit. Starting price is $5. If you are interested, please, in the description below, there'll be my Skype. Please add me on Skype so we can roll things out, go over everything. That way, I don't, mess anything up, because you are paying for something. I don't want to screw anything up and screw you over or anything like that. I want to make sure that we have all the details ironed out so we can go through this as cleanly and happily as possible. That way, you can get some advertisement. I can get some a little bit of money to go back towards podcasts to get better equipment, so forth. And that would be great. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. Like I said, I would highly suggest doing this for a company or a product or a network or a brand name. I would not suggest it as much for YouTube channels, and I really wouldn't suggest it for specific YouTube videos. However, I will allow it if you want. One thing that I would suggest is I would suggest it be a very important or big YouTube video if you're going to do it. For example, when I did my giveaways, if you were doing a giveaway, a pretty big giveaway, and you wanted me to advertise that, I'd say this episode is sponsored by so-and-so. They're doing a really awesome giveaway that I entered. Check it out at this YouTube link, and so on and so forth. So I would suggest doing that, but it's not required. That's about it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. Add my Skype below if you are interested in sponsoring a podcast. Have a nice day.